Hey friends and music makers, Mike here, and in this video I will teach you a special method I have developed to compose music much faster. Specifically, getting your chord progression recorded and arranged in perfect sync and timing in your next music production. Alright, so what is this special technique? It is to use a MIDI chord bank to help you arrange your chord progressions much faster. I often sit by my piano or MIDI keyboard to come up with interesting chord progressions. But when you have found a nice chord progression that you want to add to your track, how do you get it into your DAW sequencer as fast and accurate as possible? If you decide to use my MIDI chord bank method, you will be able to create a chord progression like this one in under 1 minute. Have a listen. And this is just to get a rough start of the main chord progression of your music production. So then you can go into the MIDI editor and adjust the notes, velocity, transposing some notes up and down and so on until you are satisfied. I have decent playing skills on the piano, but getting a recording to have all notes of your chord progressions in perfect sync to your grid, as well as exact note length, is very tricky. Basically, it often means you have to do multiple takes when you record, as well as spend time adjusting notes in the MIDI editor. Well, what if you could get the chord progressions laid out perfectly? All notes starting and ending with exact and correct timing. This is why I developed something I call a MIDI chord bank, which I often use to write down the chord progression in my DAW from the idea I got when I played my piano or keyboard into a special chord track in my sequencer. I actually spent almost a full workday to create my MIDI chord bank. I created one chord at a time, adjusted the note length to exactly 1 bar, set the chord in root position, adjusted the velocity value of each note to a medium velocity of 80, then finally exported the chord as a MIDI file, named it properly, and saved it into a folder structure that I also made sure was categorized and named properly. I spent so many hours doing this, going through all kinds of chords, major, minor, diminished, augmented, 7th chords and so on. I don't have every chord imaginable in my MIDI chord bank, but I do have all the chords I personally use often in my compositions. Now I will do a live demonstration of using my MIDI chord bank method to arrange a chord progression for a new music production. Alright, so this is how it works. I have this folder on my computer called MIDI chord bank, and inside it I have these subfolders. Each has a different type of chord, so I have the major chords, the minor chords, the 7th chords and so on. So let's say I play something on my MIDI keyboard like this. Now let me show you the real beauty of using a MIDI chord bank like this one I have created, instead of recording the chords with my MIDI keyboard, because that means messing things up with the timing and probably a lot of repetitions and editing inside the MIDI editor. So instead you look at which chords you played. So I started with a D minor, so go into the minor folder and choose a D, click and drag right into your sequencer, and now we have a D minor. Then go back, which one was next? An F major. Alright, so go into the major folder, click and drag the F to the next. And then we had a G minor 7, right? So a minor 7 chord, and it was the G. Then we had the A minor 7. So let's see, the minor 7 A here. Then to a minor 7, A minor 7. And then back to D minor. So to the minor, D minor, but an octave above. So all these chords were recorded at the same range. So this means I have to do some manual work by choosing these notes and transposing them up an octave. But the main point of using the MIDI chord bank method is to get your chord progression into your sequencer as fast and accurate as possible. Then you can go into the editor and adjust these notes as you wish. For example, making velocity changes per note, moving some up an octave or down an octave, an entire chord, up an octave, and so on, until you are satisfied with the entire chord progression. In total, there are several hundreds of chords in MIDI file format that I can now use to create my chord progressions with. Alright, now creating your own MIDI chord bank is easy, but it will take a lot of time to go through every single chord one by one and make sure you follow an exact structure for all chords you save. You simply make a MIDI clip in your DAW sequencer and write in the notes of the chord. Make sure all of them have equal velocity level and note length. And you need to decide those things first, because you will need to follow the same structure to make your MIDI chord bank consistent. Then you export the MIDI clip as a MIDI file. Choose your destination on your computer and a file name. You also need to create a good folder structure for your MIDI chord bank. Then you go through every chord you want to save and add them to your own MIDI chord bank. If you would prefer getting my complete MIDI chord bank for free, you might want to join my Music Composer Academy, because then you will get my full MIDI chord bank as a bonus. The Music Composer Academy is an amazing place where you can level up your music composing and production skills, plus kickstart your professional journey in music. Your end goal in my academy is to become a professional composer, produce your music in the highest quality, and reach more people with your music. Basically, to follow your dream as a music artist. It's 100% free to join my academy, and I have several courses you can take completely for free. Are you interested to join my Music Composer Academy? Well, then click the link in the video description. So now you have learned my great time-saving method of how to use the MIDI chord bank method to arrange your chord progressions much faster and with total accuracy. Now have fun creating your own chord progressions. My name is Mike, and I'll see you in the next video. Do you want to level up your skills and knowledge as a composer and producer and advance on your professional journey in music? Then join my Music Composer Academy. It's 100% free to join, and you will get instant access to several free courses.